Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know I love getting your day started off on the right foot, and to help with that, I use an inspiring quote. And today's is really good. I hope you're ready for this because it highlights the little things. In fact, it goes just like this. The little things, the little moments, they aren't little. How true that is. Sometimes it's the smallest things in our everyday that make the biggest impact, right? I mean, to somebody else, seeing that smile on your child's face isn't much, but to you, it means the world, doesn't it? To hear them chuckle? Yeah? See that smile on your significant other's face? Yeah, there's something about relationship. And you know, sometimes it's the small things that we notice in our world that leave the biggest impact as well. I mean, sure, we can take it for granted, but when you go out on a walk, you see a beautiful sunrise or sunset, or you see a butterfly fluttering by in all of its beauty. It puts a smile on your face. See, you didn't do anything to deserve that. It just happened, and you got to witness it. Wow, there's a lot of things that go on in our everyday that if we just took the opportunity to notice them, they would make us happier. It would make us feel more joy. It would make us more thankful. So, that's my challenge to you today, is to start to notice the little things. Don't look for the big things, instead look for the little things. And little by little, they start to add up until your heart is absolutely full. And you got to tell somebody else about them, right? All right. Hey, take the challenge. See if it doesn't make this week the best week ever. Could you use a little motivation, a little inspiration, a little encouragement today? Well, I've got something coming up I think you're going to love. So stick around. Thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show.
It's on you.
You can't wait for everything to be okay to live your life.
You can never lose faith.
You're not as far away from these dreams as you think you are.
It's time to get back to work.
I will never quit.
I'm going to win.
You can outwork anybody.
You should be a monster.
Don't blame any other person or any other thing.
Cowards do that and that ain't you.
Fortify your mind and feel this level of happiness as you rise. That's how you grow.
Say to yourself, it's not over until I win. That's how winning is done.
I thought you could use a little, hyping up because it's the beginning of a brand new week and you're going to go out there and crush it. I feel it. This is going to be your week. So go do it. Hey, thanks so much for making us part of your day. It really means a lot. Now your word of life. Today from Philippians chapter 2, verse 13 in the New Living Translation of the Bible. For God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases Him. Whoa. He has called you and He is equipping you. That should put a smile on your face, knowing that He's got your back, giving you everything you need. Yeah, that's worth sharing with somebody. Why don't you share that word of life? We've got it ready for you in photo and video form across our socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. And it's always at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. Well, let me shout out some people real quick. I think it's a Savannah Mitchell listening to us right now here in Gunnersville. Then we've got some listeners out in Reno County, Kansas as well. Hey, thanks for making us part of your day. And our friends over in Helsinki, Finland. Wow, thank you too. And whether you're listening on the stream or on the radio, just want to make sure you understand we're thankful for you. I love witnessing people being awesome. I came across a story of just that. It's going to put a smile on your face and warm your heart and make you go, aww. So stick around. Hear it for yourself. Next, after Josh Baldwin and Stand in Your Love, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. You ever seen a kid's face just light up at the sight of their favorite thing? Yeah, well, Bodie loves fire trucks, and he lives near a fire station, so he gets to see that fire truck quite often. Lots of times they're in a hurry. They got their siren on, and they're whizzing past, but every time this kid sees this truck, he comes outside, and he waves, and he shouts, hello! Well, believe it or not, those firefighters love seeing that, and they anticipate it. They watch for Bodie. Well, they devised a plan. On this particular day, they weren't in any hurry, so they decided to make a little stop. And let's just say it made Bodie's day. Take a listen to how it went down.
Go ahead, Here you go.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry.
Give me some knuckles. Have a good night, buddy.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. Say thank you. That was so sweet.
I absolutely love that. Those firefighters are awesome, and they notice the little things too. I just had to share that with you because there's just something about the happiness, the joy in Bodie's voice, just that astoundedness that just captivates you. Wow, I hope that made your day. So you've worked hard. People keep telling you, you need to take a break. You need to go on a vacation, and you're just not, one to do that. So you just keep on working. And finally, it's like, okay, yeah, sure, I could take a break. I could take a vacation. So you plan something out, something you know you're going to enjoy. It involves a really nice resort and all the fishing you could ever want to do. That's exactly what was right up Jim Denny's alley. He loves fishing. So he was staying at this resort along Lake of the Woods. Now, if you don't know where that's at, that's on the northern border of Minnesota, and it butts up right against Ontario, Canada. And it's known for some walleye fishing. So you better believe Jim was out there on the boat. But there was a little bit of a problem while he was out there.
The water was awful rough. I was sitting on that back of the boat there, and the boat was rocking back and forth pretty good. And it must have just worked it up out of there and slipped off in the water.
Jim's billfold was a goner, which made situations a little hairy when it came time to pay for his stay.
They had to kind of float me the money for the whole deal. That was the sunkenest feeling I'd ever been. Didn't have a penny on me.
Pretty embarrassing, right? Well, that happened a year ago. Now, keep in mind that this wallet is the size of a deck of cards in a 1,000,000-acre lake. That's what makes what just recently happened so astounding. There's this kid. His name is Connor Halsa, and he was out with his family, and they were fishing. And here's how that went down.
We were doing a walleye drift, so we stopped the boat and we put spinners on, and we just let the waves take us. I thought I had a big fish, and I set the hook really hard.
Little did he know that what was about to surface on the end of his hook was not a fish.
My cousin Brandon, he opened the wallet up, and he was like, "There's some money in it," and he showed everyone, and then we took the money out and placed it all on the dashboard to let it dry off.
And you better believe while they were taking the money out of that wallet, they were counting it. Guess how much money was there? $2,000 in cash with this moldy, mossy, wet wallet. Which begs the question, what are we gonna do with this money? Finders keepers?
My dad said we should give it to the person, so I told him we should too.
While they were counting the money, they found a business card with Jim's name and number on it, did a little investigating, and reached out to him.
I'll tell you what, I've got the billfold in my hands. It's still for me hard to believe. The odds of ever finding a billfold in there, hooking a billfold in 20-foot water, I don't think there would be a number.
Jim was so thankful for the find that he was willing to give some cash to Connor, but guess what? Yeah, Connor wouldn't take it.
To meet people like that, that's that honest. She says there's a lot of money in this billfold. And I see, I know. And I tried to get them to take the money. They wouldn't do it. I would take Connor for a grandson any day, and I'd fight for him any day.
Jim hooked Connor up with a personalized cooler, a real fancy one with his name on it. But if there's a lesson to be learned here, Connor says it's this.
To be nice to everyone and give back to people. We didn't really work hard for the money. He did. So it was his money.
Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn! That's right. Now let's go ahead and crank that engine. Crank, please. Thank you. Sometimes it takes a second. And then I guess we need to go ahead and start that music so I can say, hey everybody, it's time to play the Car Line Competition. It's your chance to win 3 gift cards this morning. It's always a load of fun. I've got this question here, and if you call me up first and answer it correctly, guess what? You're going to win a gift card for yourself and 2 to give away. Yeah, 1 to Wendy's for a Frosty, another to Albertville Home Bakery for a couple cookies or cupcakes, your choice, and another to the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. So without further ado, let's get this thing underway, shall we? Here's your first question of the car line competition. It goes as follows. What does the Scottish word loch mean? Does it mean kilt, lost, lake, or mountain? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. If you've ever heard of the Loch Ness Monster, well, this could help. What does the Scottish word loch mean? Does it mean kilt, lost, lake, or mountain? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Waiting on your call right now. In the meantime, Cody Carnes with Firm Foundation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how's it going?
Going great.
Awesome. I'm doing all right. I can't complain. What are you up to today?
Headed to work. It's my birthday also.
It's your birthday? Oh, my. Hey, that's awesome. Very cool. All right, so how young are you turning?
59.
59. Whoa, man. Yeah. You've seen a lot of things happen, haven't you? You've experienced some good quality life, and I know you've got some tips, some tricks, some advice to pass along to all of us. So I'm just going to put you on the spot. In all of your wisdom, in your now 59 years, what's the number one piece of advice you'd have for anybody out there?
Love God, love people.
Man, that said so well. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. All right, let's get to this question. It's going to land you some gift cards. So what does the Scottish word loch mean? Is it kilt, lost, lake, or mountain?
I believe it should mean lake.
I believe you are correct. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. You just won 3 gift cards, 1 to keep, 2 to give away. So could you tell me about 2 very special people in your life?
Yeah, I will. I'll tell you. One is a lady started dating about 8 months ago. Recently engaged to.
Oh.
Love her to death. The other is my dad, who's still with me.
Oh, wow. So what is her name?
Rissa Parrish.
Very cool. The sweetheart. And now, tell me your dad's name.
David Webb.
Tell me what you love about that guy.
He's just been the best dad ever my whole life. He'll do anything for anybody.
Wow, good stuff. Man, thanks for sharing the love here on the radio. Jerry, thank you so much for calling up, and happy birthday, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Love your station.
Oh, thanks for listening. You're the reason why we're here. Have a great day.
You too, sir.
All right, bye.
Bye.
First question of the car line competition in the books. Got 3 gift cards on their way to Jerry. Thanks again for calling, and happy birthday, man. That is so cool. Wow. We're pretty close in birthday, at least. Maybe not in year, but at least in date. Mine's coming up this Friday. I'll be 41. It's a fun time. It really is. All right, so let's have a little more fun time right here with another question, shall we? I've got one ready, and I don't know, maybe you got what it takes to make this thing happen. To answer it and win some gift cards, which word is nearest in meaning to loquacious? Ooh, that's a big word. Manic, greedy, argumentative, or talkative? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, which word is nearest in meaning to loquacious? Is it manic, greedy, argumentative, or talkative? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. I've already got my caller. Stay on the phone line with me. Here's Josh Wilson with Dream Small, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. You have got to stick around. This mother-daughter answer to that last question is so much fun. I'll play it for you right after Katie Nicole. And hold on, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better and hopefully a little more fun. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good. Hannah's so excited. She finally got in.
I'm so glad. All right. So, hey, what is Hannah looking forward to the most about school today?
Friday.
Friday? You're looking... Whoa, girl, it's just Monday. There's got to be something to look forward to today at school. It could even be lunch. So what you got?
I love the library, so we're excited for the library.
Cool. So library first, or Friday first, and then library second. I got you. Very cool. I got a question for you, and I think you're going to get this thing right. And I don't know, maybe you know some people who are loquacious. What is...
She's loquacious. Yeah.
So what does it mean? Manic, greedy, argumentative, or talkative?
talkative.
Talkative is correct. Congratulations, Hannah.
Yay!
You just won 3 gift cards, 1 to keep, 2 to give away. Tell me about 2 very special people in your life, please.
My friend Dallas and my mom.
Oh, tell me something special about Dallas.
My friend Dallas, she's the best friend I could ever have.
Whoa. And did you say your mom?
Mm-hmm.
What do you love about that lady?
My mom, she's the best because I love her.
Oh, so sweet. Mom, how does that make you feel?
Oh, great. She's the best kiddo ever, even though she's very loquacious.
I am very.
Wow. Very cool. All right. Well, thanks for sharing some love here on the radio. It was a blast talking with you, Hannah. I'm glad you finally got through.
Have a good day.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye.
So much fun, this car line competition. You never know who you're going to talk with. Now, if you don't know Hannah and you don't know where her mama works, just in case you didn't know, my daughter, Grace, loves to go and visit Hannah at the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. Yeah. I've been telling Hannah she needs to call in, and she's been trying and trying, but can never get through. So I'm so glad she was finally able to. We're all about having some fun here. So, hey, tell you what, I've got some business and ministry impact partners, some weather, some word of life to get to. Thank you so much for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. All right, let's get to that, shall we? Isn't it funny how the negative makes the positive so much better? I love when people have these epiphanies, these moments where they see from a different perspective, because let's face it, in the heat of the moment, it's really hard to see the good, right? It's really hard to see that what you're going through is making you better. But hey, I've got a little something here that's likely to put you in the right frame of mind to start seeing the good stuff today. So here, take a listen to this and see what you think about it.
You don't have dreams without test. You understand? And everything you're going through is God preparing you for what you asked for. So when you get tested, it's actually God preparing you for what you asked for. You got to have hardships, setbacks, missteps. See, the only way to learn how to get up, you got to fall. Only way to learn how to get over, you got to be under. The only way to learn how to win, you got to lose. Only way to appreciate the laughter, you got to be crying. You would not appreciate the sunshine if it didn't rain. You would not love the morning sunlight if it never got dark. It is designed that way in life. So you need everything that happens to you to happen in the exact order. You learn through failure. Failure is the part of the process people don't like, but that's the win. Michael Jordan took over 900 game-winning shots. Michael Jordan ain't made but 147 of them shots. You ain't heard nothing about them misses. They only write about the wins. But he learned how to get them 146 by missing 750 times.
God's making us better every step of the way. It's already becoming a problem, that 8-letter word none of us like to mess with. Bullying. It's so tough. Especially if you're on the side of the kid who's receiving the bullying. Oh, you don't know what to do. But, you know, it's even worse when you're on the side of the kid who's doing the bullying and you had no idea that it was going on. It's crazy, right? How do you deal with that? Well, I came across this mom's story of how she's handling it, and maybe it'll help us all out. So stick around. We'll get into it next, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Lori Orlinsky is dealing with an 8-letter word that all of us parents can't stand, and it is bullying. Now, whether you're on the side of the kid who's doing the bullying or you're trying to help your kid recover from the bully, this is definitely a relatable topic, and this is what she has to say about it. Remember the Lindsay Lohan movie Mean Girls, where high school students created a burn book to spread rumors about each other? While I too enjoyed the movie and often joke with my friends that on Wednesdays we wear pink, the movie exposed some very harsh realities when it comes to bullying. Sadly, the issue has only progressed since the flick came out 15 years ago with the rise of social media, and the Netflix show 13 Reasons Why provided an even clearer picture of the nationwide epidemic. Having 2 young daughters, ages 6 and 3, I figured we'd have a few more years before we had to address the issue, but the numbers don't lie. More than 160,000 kids stay home from school each day to avoid being bullied. And a startling 1 in 5 school-age children report being bullied, according to the National Center for Educational Statistics. I thought sending my daughter Haley to elementary school would be sunshine and roses, but it only proved that mean girls do exist, and they're everywhere. In my child's class, in other classes, in the hallway, the lunch table, and the playground. Haley has a few frenemies who constantly give her a hard time about anything and everything, and she's recounted stories to me about having her shoes pulled off while hanging from the monkey bars. Last year, a classmate even tricked her into throwing away her snack, telling her it was poison. In a world of mean girls, let's teach our children to be kind. I did, and I'm already seeing the payoff. Will my children always be perfectly behaved? No, but I'm content knowing they won't dish out or take any type of bullying behavior. So here are 10 ways we can stop raising mean girls. You want to hear all 10? Stick around. I'd love to share them with you right here on the Lifeline Morning Show. It's coming up next. Lori Orlinsky is helping us with some ways that we can make sure that our girls are not mean. So let's start off with number 1 of her list of 10 things. Encourage self-acceptance. Research shows that children who bully others often do so because they're unhappy with themselves and want to deflect the attention. Talk to your child about what makes them different and unique and encourage them to celebrate these differences. Number 2, build a healthy dose of self-confidence. Praise your child for their intelligence, personality, appearance, and abilities. Celebrate their wins with them and let them know it's okay to come in second or even fail. Be a shoulder to cry on when they do. Number 3, teach empathy. Acknowledge to your child that not everyone is the same as them and that it's okay. Role play and ask them how they might feel in someone else's shoes. When they can understand empathy, they'll learn to genuinely care about others. Number 4, highlight the golden rule. My grandma always said, you catch more bees with honey. Reinforce to your child that we should treat others the way we want to be treated. Remind them that everyone is fighting a battle we know nothing about. Do they ever notice a classmate sitting alone at lunch? Suggest they show small acts of kindness that can yield big results. Number 5, stress the importance of inclusion. Has your child talked about another classmate who's withdrawn? These kids are likely the target of bullies. Encourage your child to show they care by acknowledging and including them. It can be as simple as inviting them to sit together at lunch or play together at recess. Number 6, raise upstanders, not bystanders. Even if your child isn't bullying anyone, acting as an audience for the bully and saying nothing is just as bad. Oftentimes, bystanders don't know what to do. Speak to your child about the importance of using their voice to take action to tell the bully to stop or to report the behavior to an adult. Number 7, speak nicely about others and yourself too. A child's mind is like a sponge. They absorb everything. Make a conscious effort to only let your child hear you speak about others as well as yourself in a nice way. Number 8, model positive behavior. Children take cues from the parents, so what you do is more important than what you say. Let your kids see you opening the door for strangers or giving up your bus seat for someone who is elderly. Simple, kind gestures like this help you model the behavior you want to see from your kids. Number 9, give back. Whether it's organizing a toy drive for needy children or serving meals to those less fortunate, provide meaningful opportunities for your child to experience giving back in the community. And number 10, keep the conversation going. Schedule an informal check-in with your child to talk about their friendships at school. Take them out for ice cream and show genuine interest in their day-to-day life at school. Wow, 10 ways that we can help our kids to understand their peers and to really dig in and speak into their lives and keep away this whole idea of bullying. I know it's a process and it's something that we're all trying to do, but I hope those few tips help you today. Maybe there's something in there that you knew, but you just needed a little reminder. And I'm glad to share that good news with you here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Tell you what, I'm going to make it really easy for you to find this article. I'm about to go post it on our 88.5 JFM's Come Together Facebook group. So you can go over there and check it out for yourself. And hey, you can put this thing into practice or share it with somebody. We'd love for you to get some kind of benefit out of it. Again, that's the 88.5 JFM's Come Together Facebook group. You see, everybody else, as soon as they heard that first announcement come on the radio, they're like, commercials. Click, and they went to some other radio station. The joke's on them. You know why? Because right now, it's your chance to win. Oh, yeah. Jaden's Ice Cream. A $10 voucher just because you stuck around. You kept it right here on this radio station. So all I want you to do is call me up and tell me about an amazing memory that involved ice cream. The number to call is 256-505-0885. I'd love to hear from you, and let's see if we can create some more great memories. All right, there's my caller. I'm going to capture it. Stay on the phone line with me while I start this next song. It's Cochran & Company. Thank God for Sunday morning. You stuck around through the commercial break, and it paid off, didn't it?
It did. I love ice cream.
Yeah, I do too. Now, what's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Chocolate, just plain old chocolate.
Oh, yeah, just simple, plain chocolate. There's something about it. Now, do you like chocolate milkshakes as well, or you just like it just straight chocolate ice cream?
No, and I'm not a big soft serve fan either. I like that scoop it out. You have to, use every muscle in your body to get it out. That's the kind I like.
The real stuff. I got you.
Yeah.
No cheap imitations.
But I do like vanilla homemade ice cream if you make it at home.
Oh, yeah.
And snow cream.
Snow cream's delicious. Whenever we actually get snow, which is few and far between. Well, awesome.
And I try to put some in the freezer, too.
Yeah, so you can have it for later. All right, so could you tell me about just one memory that just lights up your face, puts a smile on your face every time you think about it, that involves ice cream?
So it's the homemade ice cream. And Granny and Pawpaw, I don't remember making it a whole lot at their house, but they only had my dad and then my aunt. So it was Granny and Pawpaw, my aunt, my two cousins, and my mom and dad, and me.
Yeah.
And we were together pretty much every weekend. But when we would make ice cream, they had the old hand crank.
Oh, wow.
Sit on top of it and crank it for, I don't even know how long. I know they got tired of hearing, is it ready yet?
Right.
But Papa would let us take turns, and we would get to sit on top of it and crank it. So we didn't do it but a turn or two because it was really, really hard.
Right.
But that's just a great memory for me.
Wow, that's awesome. Back then, you had to work for your ice cream, didn't you?
You sure did.
Wow, good
that's
stuff.
why I like the old scoop kind best. You just got to work to get that out of the bucket, too.
That makes sense. Well, awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to send you a gift card to Jaden's Ice Cream.
Awesome.
Cool. All right, let me grab your address. Charlotte Pesnell. Very good. How was the bus route this morning?
It would have been okay if I hadn't had a headache.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they weren't bad. They were pretty good. They were giggling and talking, and Miss Charlotte was saying, "Hush, my head hurts."
I got you.
But they were good this morning. They were just being kids, excited to go back to school on Monday. So It was a good day.
Very good. All right, Charlotte. Thanks so much for calling in, and I'll get this in the mail.
Have a great day.
All right. Hey, let me ask you this, too. I almost forgot. That's coming up this Saturday. I got to talk a little bit more about it. Pancake breakfast, right?
Yeah, it's pancake breakfast. Yes.
Nice.
It's the same day as Sugar Fest.
Yes.
That's my thing, is come eat with breakfast with us and then go see what you can find at the Sugar Fest.
Very nice. Now, we're talking...
So hoping some people will come by.
We're talking pancakes. Anything else going along with those pancakes?
We are going to have, I think they've got several different kinds of meat. I think we've got bacon and sausage, and they may have some ham, I'm not sure.
Nice.
And then I believe we're having juice and coffee.
Cool.
And I'm sure we'll have some water.
All right. Very nice.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing some people. Hope some people from the community come out that haven't been with us before so we can get to meet them.
Sounds great. All right, I'll keep talking about it here on the radio.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great one.
You too.
Bye. Charlotte Pesnell from up in Arab, Alabama, and she goes to Stay Free Ministries, and she's wanting to get the word out about that pancake breakfast that's going on. So, Stay Free Ministries Pancake Breakfast Fundraiser, all the proceeds are going toward the Fall Festival. If you've ever been by Stay Free during the Fall Festival, you know that place is just crazy exciting. There are all kinds of free things for the kids, free food, hot dogs, all the stuff. Bouncy houses, and it's a safe place to take your kids for that fall festival. And so that pancake breakfast fundraiser is happening on September the 2nd. That's this Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Tickets are $7 prepaid or $10 at the door. And if you'd like to prepay and get your tickets ahead of time, the number to call is 256-572-8219. So there you go. Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. And like she said, it's the same morning as Sugar Fest. So you can go eat breakfast with them and then mosey on over to the park and enjoy Sugar Fest for the rest of the day. Yeah, it'll be a blast. All right. Hey, I've got some weather, some word of life, some business and ministry impact partners to get to. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. We'll get you back to the music here in just a couple minutes. But stick around. These business and impact These business and ministry impact partners help us be able to do what we do here on a daily basis. And with that in mind, I just wanted to throw this out there. If you're part of a company or a ministry that really likes what we do here at the station, we would love to be able to partner with you as you help us keep doing what we do, and we help tell more people about what you have to offer. So, hey, you can find out more on our website, 885jfm.com. Just click that partner tab, and when you reach out, you'll be talking to me because I handle that stuff too. So, just wanted to give you a heads up on that. All right, stick around. Ever known somebody with a really big ego? Yeah, it's kind of a turnoff, right? But hey, let's talk a little bit more about that. About being humble and still thinking highly of yourself. Can those two work hand in hand? Stick around. We'll dig a little deeper with a little help from Simon Sinek. I think you're going to like this. Humility, meekness, and ego. How do you mix those together? Well, I'm glad you asked because I got a little bit of an explanation here from an expert on the topic. His name is Simon Sinek, and here's what he has to say. A little something he learned from somebody in his life as well.
Bob Gaylor, who was the 5th Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, said, "Don't confuse humility with meekness. Humility is being open to the ideas of others." And I've met some pretty remarkable, powerful people in leadership positions who absolutely have big egos, but they're still open to the ideas of others. A healthy ego is thinking you're good. An unhealthy ego is thinking that you're better than everyone else.
I love how he said that. A healthy ego. Lots of times we hear that word ego and automatically we think, whoa, that's a bad thing. That's pride. No, not always. I mean, when you think about it, you have to look at the importance of you being able to walk the walk, you know? And all the time knowing that it's not in your own strength, it's not in your own power, but God has given you the power to do that. But still, you're making a choice to take that right step, right? And so it's not a point of pride at all, but I do love the way that the Bible spells it out. And actually, over in Romans chapter 12, verse 3, it says, "Because of the privilege and authority God has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves, measuring yourselves by the faith God has given us." Whoa, I think that's so important. So I dug a little deeper into this because, you know, I like to kind of search out the dictionary and see what's going on here. Sometimes I'll go over to blueletterbible.com, get into the accordance and look at all of the concordance and look into the etymology of the words, you know, the Greek, the Hebrew, all that stuff. Well, here, straight out of the dictionary, humility means freedom from pride or arrogance, the quality or state of being humble. Now, yes, you can definitely exemplify that in your life. And how you do it is by not thinking you are better than or holier than the other person. You know, sometimes we fall into that trap. And what does it cause us to do? Well, it causes us to pick up stones and start throwing them at people. Not a good thing, right? I mean, there's a story about that in the Bible, but, you know, I really want to dig a little deeper into that topic too. Stone throwing. I don't have time to do it right now, but I'm going to get a little help from a pastor from South Carolina, and his name is Brian Trent. I've used some of his content here on the show before, but he does such a good job of talking about throwing stones. I want you to hear what he has to say, okay? All right, stick around. We'll get into it shortly. There are a ton of things to complain about in this life, but I mean, if you just sit around complaining about them all the time, one, ain't nobody going to want to be around you, and two, your outlook on life is going to be pretty horrible. So I got a little advice for you coming up from Brian Trent from Hampton, South Carolina. He pastors the Lighthouse Church out there. He's got a little something to say about throwing stones. Oh, yeah. So stick around. We'll get into it next.
You can't throw stones while washing feet. We could talk about this for days, but let's keep it short. By throwing rocks, I mean when someone casts judgment on someone else when they have issues themselves. And throwing rocks could be causing problems and division among people. If you throw a rock in the middle of a group of people, they're going to scatter, which is called division. Now, all of us are capable of throwing rocks, so let's throw that out there. But as a pastor, here's one thing that I've noticed about rock throwing people. Almost every time I've experienced a rock thrower, a judgmental, or a problematic person, that person usually has way too much time on their hands. In my experience, usually that person either doesn't have a job or something to occupy their time. You need proof? Check out that story in John chapter 8. Jesus was teaching people when the Pharisees and teachers of the law interrupted him. You probably know the story. They caught the woman in the middle of adultery. Jesus chased off all of her accusers, and then he looked at her and said, "Go and sin no more." But hold up just a second. Is that all they had to do was just to follow that woman around until she messed up? You telling me they didn't have better things to do? Imagine how much better their time would be spent if they were serving people rather than throwing rocks. But it's a whole lot easier to judge others on their issues than it is to fix our own issues. Jesus said in Matthew 23, "The greatest among you will be your servant." Not only is serving an expression of our love and concern for other people and our love for God, but serving occupies our hands and our time, giving us no room in our hands to hold rocks. If I don't have them in my hands, then I can't throw them. That makes us less likely to create division and more likely to create unity. Don't just throw the rocks down. Throw down the rocks, pick up a sponge, and occupy your hands. We got feet to wash.
We've been talking about some stories of really low odds today. The first one I talked about earlier on was that 14-year-old up in Minnesota who landed a wallet that had been lost for a year. It had $2,000 in it. If you missed that story, you need to check it out on the podcast after the show. But let's get into the second one. Just a little tease for you. I want you to stick around. So the odds that this would happen are about 0.02%. A mom and a daughter celebrating, all smiles, because of something that just happened. It involves college and a shared experience between the two. Stick around, I'll tell you exactly what it is. This is a really cool story. You're going to love it. This is so cool. You know that a bunch of college students are now in their semester. I mean, some classes have already started, but that move into the dorms, wow, that's a lot of work, isn't it? I remember my college days. Now, I lived off campus at an apartment, and sure, it was hard getting everything in there, but I didn't have to come back home every summer either. I just stayed. But my wife, well, Cassie, well, we were kind of dating at the time. Well, she had to move into the dorms every semester, and I was there to help move all of her stuff from the back of the truck up 3 flights of stairs to her dorm room, and that was every semester. Oh my gosh, it was a lot of work. But hey, you know, it's really the formative years of life. I mean, you're learning new things. You're building your life. You're creating a desire for your career, and you're getting set up for the future. And that's one thing I love about college, but it can be a shared kind of thing between parent and child. So much so that, in fact, this particular student, well, she got assigned to a particular dorm room that her mom just happened to have a lot of experience with. Yep, the odds of getting the same dorm room, we're talking about 1 to 1,099. We're talking a very small percentage of a possibility of making that happen, but this daughter was assigned the same dorm room. Oh, and when she told her mom over the phone, she was so ecstatic because back in 1990, mom moved into that same room. So mom says these days things are a lot better. Now we have pictures of the dorm so we can figure out, you know, what kind of furniture to bring, how to decorate it, and there are a lot of options now for your dorm room. So I know my daughter's going to love this place. Also, she says that they share a love of the team for the college, and this is up in Ohio, by the way, and the local coffee shop. Mother and daughter say that's going to be their spot to catch up this semester. So it's one of those like full circle stories. What are the odds that the mom and the daughter will have stayed in the same exact dorm room all these years later? It's just a cool story. I had to share it with you. Put a smile on your face. Just a quick shout out. I wanted to say thank you to you people listening to us right now at St. Luke's Episcopal School, all the way down in Mobile, Alabama. Thank you so much for making us part of your day. Oh, wow. I saw that pin pop up. I'm like, whoa, that's a ways down there. Hey, really, thank you for making us part of your day. And to you listening to us right now in Reno County, Kansas, thanks for making us part of your day. And then we got some people right here in North Alabama and Arab and Guntersville and all the way up in Skyline and up, Skyline, Alabama, a little north of Scottsboro. And then we got some listeners over in Helsinki, Finland. I still geek out over this whole thing of being able to see where you're listening to us from. I hope it doesn't like stress you out that I can do that. I'm not spying on you, I promise. I'm just so excited that you're listening. You're a part of this morning show. It really means a lot. It still blows my mind that this little station in Guntersville, Alabama can reach the entire world with some really good news. So thanks for being here. You're a part of our story of almost 28 years of reaching this world with Jesus. As you follow somebody, whether, in everyday life, maybe a pastor, or maybe somebody on social media, you get to learn a little bit more about them the longer you follow them, right? You just get to know them a little better. Well, tell you, one guy I really used to love to listen to was Ravi Zacharias, a Christian apologist. He could really explain the Bible, and he could field these questions from people in the audience, and he with absolute clarity could say, hey, this is what it says. This is what it means. It's really neat. Well, Ravi passed away back in 2020. So, of course, there are a lot of recordings out there of him doing his thing and telling the truth. But, there's another guy that I've really started to gravitate toward. And he's not a Christian apologist by any stretch of the imagination, but his name is Jordan Peterson. I don't know what you think about the guy, if you like him or not, but there's one thing I've noticed about him since I've followed him for a while. He's got a soft spot for kids, and it's with really good reason. I want to share with you 2 clips real quick from him. It's really a relatable moment. So here's the first one.
Children are a third of life, so I would certainly recommend you don't miss it. Little children pay you back immensely if you're on their side and encourage them, because they're an unconditional source of joy and love.
I love that. And you can tell he's getting emotional while he's talking about kids. And if you don't have kids, you don't quite understand yet, but just you wait. Once you have that experience of having a child of your own, you experience this unconditional love. You'll do anything for that kid. And it's a huge, important part of your life from that point on. And it's so cool that we get to kind of feel, I think, some of how God feels about us being his children, him loving us unconditionally. We kind of get to experience a little bit of that. And I love that. But there's a little something that Jordan has to say about what we can do to make sure that our kids feel safe. And I love the way he says this. I've never heard it said quite like this. Give it a listen and see what you think.
One of the things children really like, and if you want to have a stable life with kids, is you build islands of predictable stability. Because the kids' lives are chaotic. They don't know how to orient themselves in the world, and they can't integrate their emotions and their motivations. And if you repeat things every day, then they build little islands of predictability, and that actually stabilizes their emotions. And so you want to have meal times at approximately the same time, and you want to have bedtimes at approximately the same time, or maybe exactly the same time. You want to have a ritual before bed, and then the children can play outside of those stable places, but without that stability, and that would also mean stability of caretaker, for example, because that's of prime importance, especially to little kids. They can't build a habitable cosmos.
You are helping them build their world, and by providing those little islands of predictability, you are helping them to feel safe. I love the way he said that. I've never thought of it like that before. So this is more reason why I like following this guy. Just wanted to share it with you. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me here on the Lifeline Morning Show. Well, it's about time for me to say goodbye for the day, but before I do, I've got an inspiring quote to share with you again. Now, I started the show off with this quote, but I've had 4 hours to marinate on it, to really think about it. So, here it is. The little things. The little moments? Well, you see, they aren't little, are they? I did a little research, and I found a few scriptures in the Bible that talk about the little things. Luke 16:10. One who is faithful in a very little is also faithful in much, right? Matthew 17, verse 20. For truly I say to you, if you have faith like a grain of mustard seed, you say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it'll move and nothing will be impossible for you. See, lots of times it's the little things that make the biggest difference in our lives. So, are you noticing all the little things going on around you? I want to challenge you to do that today. Look for all the little things happening. They add up in a hurry. All right, I'll see you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10 for another Lifeline Morning Show. Can't wait to see you then. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and check out the show as a podcast on Spotify at 10:15.